Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's SEO Q&A. And I'm getting feedback, and I'm not sure if it's from me, you, or someone else, but welcome to today's show. We're joined by Mr. Chris Palmer.
Yes.
And do check out ODYS up the top right-hand side. If you're interested in age domains, that is the place to go to, and you get $100 sign-up bonus as well, which is always good, that you can use towards buying an expired domain. So check it out, guys, and all of that good stuff. But we are here today to answer your questions, and we do have Fred back in his rightful place. First commenter. Adam, is that Adam Poland? If it is, where the hell have you been?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Diogo. Yeah, Diogo. We'll go with Diogo.
It looks like a Dior. He looks like a Dior cologne guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever see those? You're walking through them all. That's like the pictures they use.
the big handsome model, Diogo.
Yes. Cologne model.
You're looking good, Diogo. Not Adam Poland. I'm a better Adam. What Adam could that be? Adam. Do we know you? Like, do we know your surname and shit? Or are you just a random Adam? Just out of curiosity. I think.
Speaking of random, I went to San Francisco not too long ago, and I met this like weird dude. I'm like, "What's your name?" And he told me it's just random hippie. I'm just a random hippie. That's what he told me. So you just said random. It popped in my head. Sorry.
Random. Talking about a random hippie. Mullins
there he
is. This guy gets everywhere, man. Every fucking where Mullins is. Dude, I'm pretty sure I was watching on OnlyFans, and Mullins was in there as well, commenting and all that shit on it. Like, Mullins is everywhere, mate. He's in every fucker's group. Everything.
Oh, goodness.
Tools, tools and all that. Like, someone shared the tool with me, actually. I think it was you, Chris, shared. I'm not going to name the tool. You shared the tool with me, and I joined the Facebook group and checked the tool out. And fucking Mullins is in there. Everywhere, mate. Everywhere. But you should have stopped by. He is in San Fran. So, Chris, next time you're there, go see Mullins.
Interesting. Yeah, I have a couple friends out there. For sure. What's that?
Adam Smith. So this Adam says we know of him. Adam Smith. Are you Adam Hawthorne? Using another account. And Diogo is the right pronunciation. Glad we got that right. But guys, do ask your questions in the live chat. We will answer as many of them as we possibly can. Just boom, boom, boom. You only have to answer it once. We will work through them on a first come, first served basis. And try and make sure it's a direct question, not how do I do good SEO, because hey, that takes a long time to answer. It's supposed to be quick fire, and it's debatable. So make sure your questions is direct. But whilst the questions are coming in, Chris, anything new your end? Are you doing anything different? Any new services? Any new courses? Any new tools?
No new tools, but I am working on another little tool, another little gadget. I did the entity stuff. Now that I understand how Django works and all that stuff, I think I can get some more stuff up. But the course stuff, services. Yeah, we have new services. Services.chrispalmermarketing.com. But I've been trying my hand at some Google ads. I tried YouTube ads. I tried Twitter ads. I tried Reddit ads. But I just find myself coming back around to Google. I tried them all. Like Facebook is torture. Reddit was pretty cool, but it didn't, you get a lot of eyeballs, or allegedly get a lot of eyeballs, but not a lot of dollars, not a lot of return, So yeah, I like Google, because I could put, I could exactly only pay for eyeballs for this term, like buy
Yeah.
guest posts, like I like that. But now, how about you? What's new?
Nothing new really, man. Nothing new. Just the same old with me. Just struggling by, and
Yeah, I bet.
yeah,
You look like
yeah.
you're struggling.
But nah, nothing. No courses, no nothing. Just sort myself out. Sorted my slides out for SEO on the beach, which is in a few weeks' time out in Spain. So looking forward to that. It's literally an SEO event on the fucking beach.
Pretty
Like
cool.
sipping cocktails on the beach. So never been. I've always seen the photographs and always had that horrible feeling when you see people sitting there watching speakers with a cold pint in their hand. You're just like, motherfuckers. And I need to be there. So yeah. But anyway, we've got questions coming now. Guys, keep the questions coming thick and fast. Do you think the Apple... Sorry, go, Chris.
My question is this. Do you, if you go to these events and you have to speak, do you partake in having a beverage before you speak, or do you wait till after all that's done?
It depends. I have walked on stage with a beer in my fucking hand in the past. Typically, I wouldn't drink before a speech. Like when my last talk in Dubai, I didn't speak. I didn't drink the night before, and I went for breakfast. I wasn't up on stage until about 1 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon. Went for my lunch with my friends, and then walked over to the venue and done my speech. So I've done it all different ways. Sometimes I've been at an event and I've been on later on in the afternoon, and there's free beers going, and you have a few before you go on stage. So I've done it always, but what I felt myself always doing at a certain point was I was going on stage very badly hungover at these events, because you always go to the party the night before you know it's 6 a.m. and you're like, shit, like the event starts in 3 hours and you're fucking rattling up onto the stage. I'm sick and tired of doing that, because I've lost count the amount of times where I've sat to myself rattling like that going, why do you do this to yourself every fucking time, Craig? So I try and have a night off the night before if I can. So there's nothing worse than doing it hungover. I don't mind doing it drunk, but I swear more when I'm drunk, although I swear a lot already. I probably swear more. But hey. But anyway, on to the questions. Matt Rolls, do you think the Apple search engine will be any good?
In time, I would venture to guess, of course. If anybody has a play, I would think that they're already trusted. They already have their map. They're in everybody's hand. Why wouldn't they? I like it. Yeah. Why not?
I think they would have a chance, but Google have taken a long time to sort their algorithm and everything out. And I think, launching a search engine is no easy thing. So I think it will be a time thing for sure. But if anyone can challenge Google, Apple have to be one of those, or Amazon, whoever. Someone like that would be, up there. So
up next, yeah.
So let's see how it goes. But I don't know. Mullins loves Facebook ads. It's so cheap. Diogo has a question about keyword clustering. How do you guys go about it? I heard a couple of tools. Some people manually check the SERPs. How do you guys go about it? So how do you use a tool, Chris, or do you use a tool and use your manual approach, or how do you do it?
I primarily stick with manual. I mean, I do think like Keyword Cupid or like Surfer's Tool. I mean, they're cool, but to me, it just was clunky in the process. So I prefer manual. Like I already know the products or the services or whatever I want to promote or what I want to create a page on, and I know what a supporting piece of content is going to be. And if I have any doubt that, hey, are these really the same thing or should they be on the same page? I just do a manual search and see what Google thinks. So I'm like, it just doesn't fit into the process for me. So that's what I do.
Let me change this question slightly for you, Chris. Do you say you do it manually for yourself? And I know you don't do a whole bunch of client work. You're trying to get away from that. But if you were doing it for a lot of client work, would you still be doing it manually, or would you use a tool? Would you change your approach?
If I had a boatload of clients, and I had to produce something, like a content strategy, there still has to be an element of manual work though, because I still want to see if that's going to be the best. But maybe if I had a boatload of clients, perhaps, yeah, just to speed things up.
Yeah. Keyword Cupid though, Diogo. If you want something that does a good job, then Keyword Cupid would be the one that I would highly recommend you check out, man. And it's cost effective, so hopefully that helps you.
Interesting.
Mark, take, was there a goal with your TikTok, or are you just playing about and testing it out? There is no goal. Got it through lockdown, decided to just goof around on it. I was initially going to try and drive traffic through SEO, done a few SEO videos that no one fucking watched, started dancing about like a fucking buffoon, and all of a sudden I was getting traffic and engagement. So decided to just dance about like a buffoon and fuck it. It's a platform I've said on many occasions. It has a lot of traffic. How do we get that traffic onto, onto SEO or onto my YouTube or onto any other things? I think that's a long-term process, and are there certain people out there who are potentially interested in SEO on there? Yes, but it's a very small amount. So I think it's a long-term play. But genuinely, I was just goofing around and seeing what happened. And I think you goof around on it, Chris, and tried it out. And do you still play with TikTok, or have you gave up?
I gave up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once I did what I did over there. Like I played with it. To me, it was like figuring out like I just wanted to play with it enough to figure it out. I don't really, it's not for me.
It's good if you're building like a personal brand and stuff. People can see a bit more of a real side to you than maybe because I'm not dancing about on YouTube. I'm not dancing about on LinkedIn or anything. So I think it's to show that there's a human being behind it all. So that, if anything, is the benefit.
LinkedIn is something. There's something there, man. I like LinkedIn. I went on with it's sick. I went on there talking to the tool guy. I can't pronounce his name. It's like Antovi. He's got he does like tool reviews.
Yeah.
Cool guy, nice guy. Yeah. And that's like the whole plug is just on LinkedIn. And he was like walking me through some of it. So that's a great opportunity. I like LinkedIn, and they just approved me for that video. I like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did.
Listen, LinkedIn, I know a lot of guys getting a lot of leads from it. So there's a platform to play with there in terms of lead gen and selling and all that stuff. So definitely. But Ravi Gupta wants to know how to create our Google Knowledge Panel. So Chris, have you triggered a knowledge panel?
I know how to create a panel. I have a panel. Like the little small ones.
Yeah.
But like as far as like having it say musician or anything like that, or artist, or like an actual knowledge panel, I have not figured that part out yet.
I'm pretty sure I've got a video on my YouTube on it, but you need to make sure that you go to Jason Bernard's tool, calicube.pro. Now, there's two types of knowledge panel, business and a person. Find out what entities are triggering people in your country. So you've got US, UK, whatever. Now, what triggers a knowledge panel in the UK might be slightly different from America. And on this tool, which is completely free, it tells you where you need to be, whether that be Wikidata, Crunchbase, IMDb, or wherever. And that all forms part of joining dots for Google to ping your knowledge panel. Now, Chris says he knows how to create a knowledge panel. You can just go to Legit and pay a dude to create one for you. There are services out there. You can also go to Legit and get people to create a Wikidata for you, and so on and so on. So there is a guide on my YouTube channel. On that, I literally blew up 5 knowledge panels, making mistakes along the way. I don't want to waste too much time on here talking about all of those mistakes, but it can be temperamental. So go and watch that video. It will go through all of the stuff that I broke, all of the stuff that I've done well, and help you avoid making those same mistakes, because it cost me a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I'm not saying a fair bit of money. It wasn't outrageous, but wasted money was there. So, getting taken down 5 times, or I'm on my 5th one now. Taken down 4 times was a pain in the ass, to be honest. So, but it was great to learn how it all works. And they're good stories to tell as well. So, Fahad's asking, how do you guys deal with a new Google update if website traffic is down? So this recent update, Chris, that everyone's moaning about, some people are talking about 80% reductions in traffic. What are you doing at this stage? Given that I don't feel that the update is fully rolled out yet, what do you do now? Do you sit tight? Do you wait to see what comes out in the next few weeks before you make any rash decisions, or are you doing something already?
Well, I usually sit tight and watch the primary keywords that the clients or myself or whatever project I'm working on. I'm watching the primary keyword SERPs that I care about the most to see what the fluctuation is. And then but generally I'm going to wait. I just sit tight, watch the primary SERPs, and then make adjustments. But right now I just hang tight, just be abused by Google like usual. I have big calluses on my behind, so it's, I'm used to this. That's, getting abused by Google is what happens. I mean, that's just part of the game, and it changed up my business. This last one really changed up a lot of internal workings. So just hang tight, be patient, and create more pages. There you go.
I would agree. Mark Rose is asking, is Answer the Public dead now that Neil Patel has acquired it?
It depends on, everyone sees the same thing through different eyes. I think it depends on who you ask and who was using it previously. I don't know.
Are you a user?
No.
Neither am I.
Never used it. I went there once. There was like a guy on there, and I was like, I didn't like the layout. Too many clicks. I have SEMrush. I'm good.
What I'd say is Neil Patel gets a hard time off a lot of people. Is he going to put it to good use, integrating it with Uber Suggest? I don't know. I'm not a user, but he's a smart guy, and he makes a lot of money. I can't see it dying as such, but hey, we'll see what happens.
It won't be free for much longer. I know that.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy.
Randy Roday. Nice new picture, Randy. It actually looks very on point. Yeah, I like how they've... Yeah, that's very on point. So, yeah. Good to see you, Randy. Business growth ready. Has anyone played canonical tags to redirect expired domain, donor domain, pages and context, and not use the 301? So the content URL is still indexed and still build links to the donor domain. So do you canonical over to another domain name, Chris? Have you ever played around with that?
I have played around with that. However, I have played around with it, but we generally just use 302. That way you have the option. down the road. So 302s, I at least as of the last year, I think they work perfectly fine. But yeah, canonical tag, I don't know how good of a boost you're getting from that though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would tend to, it's good to play around, but I would tend to side with Chris here. How much of a boost are you getting doing that? I'm not sure how much would be passed through a canonical tag, but hey, I'm sure there's someone out there who can
and
argue the point and the tale is different.
And it has to be 100% duplicate. So like if you're using canonical, that means the page that I'm referring to, that's what a rel canonical is. So it has to be, in order to pass the full value, that the page that I'm canonicalizing over to here has to be identical to this page here. So if you're following the protocol, then hooray. But, most people I assume maybe aren't. I don't know. But that's something that we learned along the way. It has to be the same.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Facebook user, we can't see who you are, but had a guy connect up with me on LinkedIn who had about 300 Snapchat accounts, said he was doing good with it, was surprised as he was using one email. What are your thoughts on Snapchat? Thought was dead for traffic. So I have never, on a personal level, let alone a business level, trying to drive traffic through it, use Snapchat. That doesn't mean that it's bad. But Chris, if you played around with it or anything like that, do you use it for any kind of source of traffic?
Not as a source of traffic. Inside of Snapchat, you can have a business account. I created the business account, made you can create like a little pink. It was pink. I don't know if it changed, but you could create your own little, your own little thing on there, like on the map.
Yeah.
But other than that, I never messed with it. The pages don't index. They don't show up if I'm searching my brand name. So to me, there was no value. I never used it for traffic though.
Interesting. And P.S. when you're having a drinks night out, don't know if that's to me or Chris or whatever, but I'm always up for a drink.
I try not to drink. I don't like me when I'm drinking.
We also have Maeve here. Good to see you. And Dirk. Guys, keep your questions coming. And who is you? Me or Chris? And who are you?
Yeah.
Because we might not want to go for a drink with you. That is the thing. But it depends who you are.
That's a fact.
But Adam, who also we're not sure which Adam it is. I'm searching for expired domains for a single niche BBN. I'm finding a lot of domains from real businesses, but they only really have citation links with low trust flow. Worth getting or pass? So would you buy an expired domain that's only got citations?
See, so we buy a lot of domains, right? Something we have found is, finding them on the exact topic is relatively hard. We're looking for high referring domain counts. And when we're creating them, we want to create them exactly how they were and then have relevant pages to link out. Because if to get them 100% on point is very hard. And then if you repurpose them, it loses all of the relevancy from the links that were already built, right? So my advice is, I don't know what your niche is, but if it's something where there's a lot of them, hooray for you. But I would focus on referring domain counts. What's the anchor text? How long has it been down? How long has it been dropped? Has it been longer than 6 months? And try to get within a topic realm if you're looking at Majestic. You don't have to look at the flows, like trust flow, citation flow, DR, like that's cool. Look at referring domain count. How long has it been down? And you'll find a lot better stuff out and about. As long as it's in topic, the other piece too is try to stick with your tops, like .coms, .nets, .orgs, because when you start going around, when you try to transfer in like to the registrar, those get expensive, like $8 a piece transfer and $2, or you don't want that bill coming in like .infos and all this crazy stuff. It's a pain. I learned that lesson the hard way.
But also,
I hope that answers it. Just trying to give you as much as I could.
Adam, you might find a website that's got shit domain metrics, but it might have a fuck ton of content. So there's massive value there at that point, if there was a lot of content that you can grab from the Wayback Machine or whatever. So it depends on how you look at it. But certainly I would not be going out my way to build a PBN on something that only, low trust flow and all that and shitty citations. No point. I'm looking for something to give me something. There's got to be value, as I say, whether that be content or whether it's link equity, if you want to call it that. That's all I'm interested in. And if it's not there, then skip and find something that is there.
What do you feel is a fair rate per referring domain? Because really, that's what it boils down to. That's what you're paying for. Per referring domain on an expired or domain, what do you feel would be a fair point?
It's fucking... that's an impossible question to answer, Chris, because if I looked at something and it had Entrepreneur, BBC, and Forbes, I would pay some money for that because I know the value of those links or what it would cost me to get those links. Whereas, I know like ODYS, for example, they give you a rough estimate on the value of a domain based on every link costing X amount of money. But I don't think that's the best way to value it. It's everyone's going to have different ways to value it. And I know that a BBC link doesn't have a monetary value for me because I know that's super solid to get. So I would probably pay a bit more for it. So I can't really put a figure on it as such. If you force me to put a figure on it, then I would probably be saying, right, my cost price, the average cost for me for a standard link out with some of the top dog stuff is, I don't know, $50. So I'd be saying, right, if that's got 20 referring domains, that and stuff like that, and I'm getting it for $200, then yes, that's a good deal for me, because that's $500 worth of links there potentially, so that's the way you have to look at it. But I don't think you can do that across the board, because certainly I would grab an expired domain, Chris, if it had 2 or 3 big bad boys on there that I would really struggle to get. I would say, nah, fuck this, I'll take it.
That's fair. Fair enough.
So hopefully that helps you. But Tommy Butler, I'm always up for a beer. You let me know when, mate. We can get a few of us together in and around Glasgow. And he's a local guy to me. Lovely guy. Tommy is actually a domainer. Tommy has, I don't know, 1,500 domains. I mean, he's had a lot more than that, but he is a guy who literally just buys and sells domain names. He does his own SEO shit in the background, but he is what you call a domainer. An absolute beast of a demeanor, and has an amazing bunch of stories to tell. So, Tommy, anytime you are ready, I'm up for it, mate. So, let's do it. I will arrange something, Tommy, with Graham Greavy and a few of the other locals, and we'll just have a night out. Fuck it. In fact, we do meet up now and again. Me, Graham Greavy, and a few other guys. We'll get you along to one of them, Tommy, if you're up for it. But Joseph Villaba, I heard the guy speaking about the Google sandbox for the status when Google stops trusting a new domain with too many links too fast. What do you think? So what are you thinking about this sandbox thing?
I mean, so I have this issue sometimes with clients, and they're like, starting a new site, the sandbox. But as soon as they create their initial pages and you do a search, they're there, So, yeah, you're not going to rank right away. If that's what you say is a sandbox, then okay, there's a sandbox. But as far as them not indexing or not showing and not making it to the search results, I don't believe that at all. Yeah,
I was at an SEO conference recently, and someone was talking about a Google sandbox taking 6 to 12 months to disappear, and I nearly fucking fell off my chair laughing. So yeah, with nothing to back that up. But hey, each to their own. But I'm with Chris. I just crack on, build some links, get some content. I don't really concern myself with a sandbox. I do think it takes several months to build a website, whether you want to call that a sandbox or whether you call it time for your your links to get picked up and your content to get indexed. It's all the same fucking thing as far as I'm concerned. So, hey, the SEO takes 3 to 4 months. If you want to tell people that's a sandbox and all that stuff, use that. Use that on your clients, whatever, man. But
yeah, make a good excuse, right, for a client. Like, we're in the sandbox. Not, I haven't been buying links, or all the content sucks.
All else is out, and you're not ranking the client as well as you should, and you're all out of excuses. Yeah, it's the sandbox, mate.
For sure. Or an update. Yeah.
No other answer. That's as good as any. I like it. Whoever made that shit up really deserves a medal because it's a fucking classic.
That's why it came about. Oh, it's a sandbox. We're in the sandbox. It's a 4-year-old site.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't believe in it, Joseph. Adam Hawthorne, he agrees. Don't buy from the almost free domain deals because the next year they'll be asking for £15 to renew your transfer. Did you hear? This is from Randy, but before we go into this, do like the video, guys. We always want engagement on it. If you want to throw insults anyone's way, leave them in the comments below the video when you're watching, or some compliments, whatever you want. And do check out ODYS, Chris Palmer, and all that stuff. But put as many questions as you can. We've still got 25 minutes left. So put as many questions as you want into the chat, and we'll answer them all as quickly as we can because we've got a couple, but we've answered pretty much them all so far. So we're on a roll, and all that stuff. Now, Randy Roday is not normally known for his jokes. But he's saying, did you hear that Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube are going to launch 1 mega website?
I haven't heard that.
And they're calling it
YouTube.
So, as I say, Randy Roday is not known for his gags, but hey, there you have it, guys.
There you have it.
And he's also laughing at his own jokes. So, hey, he's a nice guy, though.
He is a great guy.
He's a great guy, but yeah, not known for good jokes. And Business Growth Ready is saying his wife has put him in the sandbox. I'm pretty sure we'll give that nod. And Jordan Pierce is asking, Randy, how's that weed? Yeah, there must be something being smoked there, Randy. That's not just come out. There's a reason behind this. But there you go. But guys, do keep the questions coming. Because me and Chris can just chat shit about whatever all day long. If you don't ask questions, but we are here for you guys. So keep the questions coming, people. But Chris, talking about people are talking about other search engines, Apple, and all that kind of stuff. Do you wait a minute? I'm just reading Jordan Pierce's. Do you ever think Google will be overpowered, or do you think they're just too far ahead?
So I mean, at some point I would assume there has to be at some point, but who's it going to be? I don't know. It sounds to me like if anybody gets close, wouldn't Google just eat them? So
that's also my thing is Google have done so many updates over the years. They've caught everyone, scamming, cheating, manipulating every fucking thing. Surely Apple don't have access to all of that data to be able to do something. Is it possible to even catch up now? I'm not so sure, and be as accurate or as efficient I'm not so sure.
Maybe. I don't know. Perhaps.
But Jordan is asking, what day am I flying in? I've not booked my flights yet, Jordan, but I'm not sure if there's going to be something before and or after the Nashville event. So I'm going to this Mastermind Mansion, Chris, in Nashville, end of September, getting into October. Keith Evans, Stephanie. Are you going, Randy? I'm pretty sure Randy was at one of them. There's all sorts of people going. Jordan's going, but I know Brad and Mike are also considering doing an event round about that time. So I'm probably going to come to America like I done back in 2019, Jordan. I'll probably be in America for 3-4 weeks. And try and capture a few events, because I know ClickFunnels have an event on. I know you were talking about an event, Chris.
Go for it.
So if people are all doing that shit in September, get into October, then I'm going to try and catch all 3 or 4, whatever the
What's
fuck.
that? What's that week? What's the 3 weeks you'll be there?
So I'm probably going to be thinking about mid September right into October, because I think the Mastermind Mansion's something like the 30th of September till the 2nd of October. So I think that's 3 or 4 days or whatever it is. But I'm loving the small events. I like the look of that mansion, and I've seen others at it before. I couldn't make it in April, but it looked awesome, man. So that is, I'm not sure my exact plans, Jordan, but I will be kicking about probably days before it anyway, just so that I can fucking get into the old US time zone and all that, because we are, I don't know, 5-6 hours ahead of you guys or whatever it is, depending on where you are. So yeah, we'll see. And Dirk is asking, is Apple really launching its search engine? I am not sure. I've not heard anything on it. Have you heard that, Chris?
I haven't, but I've been having my head down lately. I haven't been reading too much. I don't go looking for news.
Let me Google it. Apple search engine. I'm not seeing anything new on there. So who knows? There could be truth in it. They've hired a ton of engineers in the last couple of years. So it could be up and coming, but who knows when. Mark Rose is saying, if Google go to a paid search model, they asked Eli Schwartz as part of a survey, then they can be overpowered. Randy's flying in on Friday and out that Monday of Mastermind Mansion. Joseph Valaba, what do you think about link velocity? Is the same building too many links too fast and stop for a couple of months, or slow and steady link building without using an indexer? So how are you building your links, Chris? Is it slow and steady, or a bust, then stop, then a bust? How do you do it?
I mean, I've done both, but I think the way to go is probably steady. I've done it both ways, but I prefer a nice, consistent amount of links coming in. I think that's the best way to go about it. And then just natural. I don't go indexing. Most of the sites that I go and get, they're already, the links show right up. So I think slow and steady, if I had to choose.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think obviously your content strategy and everything evolves over time, and you'd be madness to just go crazy at the start, because you need to see where things lie before you maybe power up some of the inner pages and stuff with your links. So it's ludicrous to go all out at the start or whatever. Slow and steady wins for me. And also, I don't force index stuff either. I know a lot of people have got a bee in their bonnet about that, but Chris, when it comes to link building, do you try and force index?
I don't.
No.
No.
I'm the same. But it's one of those things you get asked questions on all the time. Yeah, these links are not indexing, fucking whatever, and this indexing tool's not working. People go crazy for indexing, and it seems a bit of a wasted time and energy, getting all hyped up about that. Business Growth Ready says Apple Search and Google Android could over time garden wall their own search engines on their own devices as the default. They very well could, and
Sure.
it would make perfect sense. And Microsoft have already. Do Microsoft still force Bing on you?
If you buy a machine, most of the times it has Bing. you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, but I haven't. I've been building my own, so I assume I'm trying to think. Like my Graham just bought a PC, like a little laptop, and I'm pretty sure like it was just infested with that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure that was the go-to preset. You have to go get Google, Chrome, and pretty sure. I don't know though.
And McAfee, the fucking security fucking thing embedded into Microsoft, and it's hard to get that fucking thing off, man.
I just love torture.
Constantly pops up and shit. Yeah, so pain in the ass. But guys, you are slow with the questions today. Keep the questions coming. You've got to have.
Last week was great. It was like boom, boom, boom.
More. The most searched phrase on Bing is Google. That would be interesting to see how many people go to Bing and do something like Google or Google Chrome.
Probably a lot, I would assume.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see how often that happens on Bing. Wait a minute. We can't even tell. Can you? Is there something that can tell us what Bing traffic search gets?
I don't not that I know of. Like how do you check that? I have no clue.
Similar web could maybe, but nah, I can't be asked. Bing traffic analytics. But nah. But keyword planner. My dad says I googled it and he's on Bing. How do you get people to ask questions on a live stream? You just tell them to put the questions in the live chat and they ask. End of. Wait a minute.
May God bless you.
Maeve is saying, I think Bing is an age thing. Old people don't really understand the difference between Bing and Google. And he's on Bing. So my dad says I googled it and he's on Bing. So yeah, right, I get that now. I didn't get it the first time round, but yeah, people just use the word Google. I googled it, or Google it, or go Google it, or whatever. So I think branding wise and everything, again, no one's saying I'm binging that or Ask Jeeves in it or whatever was back in the day. It was always
Alta Vista.
Yeah. That's what we always joke with one of my local friends. And
I like Yahoo's commercial. Yahoo!
Yeah. But we always joke with my friend saying that he's an Ask Jeeves SEO guy. It's the only search engine he can rank a site on. Is Ask Jeeves still a thing? Did that just die off completely?
I think it still exists, but I don't know how good it is. I never go over there.
Question. I'm going to put SEO Glasgow in it. See what fucking comes up. So they do have ads on there. Jeez. Yeah, Ask Jeeves is still a thing. That's surprising. You learn something every day. On here, but
every day.
It is very unpleasing on the eye, shall we say. But I don't know if these ads are pulling from Google. I can't see there being an Ask Jeeves ad platform. But hey, I'm not even going to look too much more into it.
Slow one today.
Yeah, what is going on, guys? What is going on? We still have 15 minutes left. So if you've got
What'd
any
you
questions,
title it today?
just the same, the usual. I normally change the title after the show. However, what may be the case is this is like it's something like the Jubilee in the UK, so everyone's off tomorrow and Friday. So I'm not sure if this is like the Friday of this week, and people are just like, "Fuck you guys, I'm off. I'm not fucking watching you talking shit." I'm getting out the door. That could very well be the case, which it is what it is. If people don't have questions, then they don't have questions. But yeah, this has probably been one of the slower ones that I've seen. But guys, if you are asking questions and they're not popping through, it could be a technical glitch. Make sure you're on YouTube to ask the questions. If you're sitting there going, dude, because I've not seen anything from LinkedIn and stuff, and you normally see stuff popping through from LinkedIn. So if you have asked a question and it doesn't pop through, ask it again, please. Sam Charles is here, but Joseph is asking, is it a good idea to blast 10 million backlinks on the tier 2? Is it effective? Is that $10 or 10 million? Either or.
Yeah, not sure. You know, that's we just tested that. I've been watching a property. Depends on what list you're blasting with. Because I've bought in a bunch of those little Fiverr gigs when I was accruing up a really good list for GSA. So that initial blast, I recall it not really doing much for me. But once you weed everything out, once you clean out all the page rank zeros and you clean out all the junk with a lot of outbound, more than 50 outbound links, clean up the list a little bit. It's hard to say. It depends on the links, my friend. Depends on the links. I don't think just blasting away is going to do it for you, but I think it's really, really dependent on the list that you're using.
Can't be any truer than saying the list has to be unique, guys. If you're doing that, I think that is the key to the whole process. Regurgitate the same old crap that everyone else is on is not going to do anything for you. So hopefully that helps. Maeve, if you're buying expired domains to 301 the links to your money site, do you redirect them instantly or let them age for 8 to 12 weeks with content and see how they respond?
I don't wait 8 to 12 weeks. What we're trying to do first and foremost, once we buy the domain, we're going to relaunch the initial pages. And then I'm going to run that past backlink profile through an indexer. That's when I will use an indexer. And we're going to also create 2 to 3 new pages. It depends on how many existing pages there were. Then we're going to recreate other pages. So once we do that, if we start seeing instant indexation on the new pages, we're off to the races. We usually aren't going to 301 the whole domain, though. I'm usually going to use those domains. But I guess if you wanted to 301 it, you could. But it's usually not 8 to 12 weeks. Usually within 2 weeks. But
it depends on where you get the shit crawled and indexed. If you're force indexing or just letting it happen naturally or whatever. So, but you have to get that shit back in Google's index, get everything live again is the key part.
That takes a little bit, yeah. But that's when we'll take the existing backlink profile and throw it through SendBite and see like what's going on. I just did that for a coach in Germany. That was the exact process. Bought and expired, relaunched the pages. It was only 3 pages that had all the referrings. We launched 3 more that were about coaching. We put that up, re-indexed the backlinks. Those 3 pages popped in. As soon as that happened, 301. But that was only one instance.
Cool. Michael Norris is saying, for a new site or an older site that has not been building backlinks, is there such a thing as link velocity where you need to throttle how many links you send to your site?
Usually link velocity generally comes down to budget, usually, unless you're a madman and you're just firing up tools and throwing everything. But usually the velocity comes down to budget, to be quite frank. What you're trying to do is you're trying to budget out your links and your content over the course of a campaign. So it's generally just budget, but you'll see new people, they'll go out and build their citations, they'll do their press releases, they'll do, right? You build a lot quick. Can you keep that velocity up? In most cases, no way. So then it's going to taper down, and then you're going to have a consistent basis depending on your content and powerful links going to the primary pages that you want to rank until you rank properly. So it comes down to budget, unless you're completely insane and you're just blasting stuff. But that's, I've done that. It's a temporary lift in most cases.
Glenn Ingram is asking, why do you look like a talking head, Chris?
I don't know. Maybe the black background.
Black background. I think it's good. It suits you. Maybe I should do it as well, man. But Joseph was saying $10 for 1 million links. Joseph, I would steer clear of any junk like that because it's just trash.
I bought a lot of those links. You get those reports back, those GSA blasts, 1 million, 10 million links, 40 million links, 50 million links. There's so many duplicates. The actual amount that index, once you start cleaning this stuff out, like, you take out the page rank zeros, you take out any sites that have outbound links of more than 50 on them. Just that alone will cut you down to 5,000, 10,000. Like I bought, like there's a couple of them out there that have 40 million, 30 million. I went out and bought all those just to get a big list. Once you do a sort, there's nothing there.
Chase.
10K. Ooh.
What are you doing now? Appreciate it, Chase. Check out Chase Rayner, guys, who has kindly donated that, which is way too much, Chase, but he earns a lot of money. So
he donated 200 to me the other day on a live stream.
Yeah. I got 100 yesterday and 100 today. So long live Chase Rayner. That's all I'm going to say.
Thanks, Chase.
But, great guy, and thank you very much, Chase. And what do you think of Chase's picture?
NFT picture. It's cool. It's good. I don't know. Did he buy that? Is that something? Did he make it? Did he draw it? Did he purchase it? Like,
what is it, Chase?
What is it, Chase?
What's your opinion on AI content, writing aid tools, writing articles and copy for your website from an SEO perspective?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, and we talked about this quite extensively. Like, it's a writing aid, and you have to note, like, AI content, not yet, is not true AI. It's basing off of stuff that's been out there since 2019. So I mean, it's not true AI, and it makes a good assistant, but I think no matter what, there's going to have to be a lot of human intervention in order to make it rank and make it, quality enough to rank. So, and plus too, like, I'll see people pitching this stuff and you'll rank really good for long tail stuff. But I personally haven't seen 100% AI generated content that's ranking for anything of anything that matters, like hard stuff. Have you, Craig?
Nah, not really. I think you're right. It has to have a certain bit of human interaction. I've never seen AI content that just spat out that is usable for a
winning
website
copy.
So do I know of people who use a process where they may use AI as an assistant, then they maybe use Quillbot and they use different things, and then a bit of manual editing to then rank content, then you see that all the time. But there's a process for all of that and multiple other things. It's not the AI that's making that rank. It is, it needs, paraphrased and edited and subheaders to be put in. So there's a lot of work still to be done in AI before I would consider it to be a useful asset overall. But it's an assistant, and it's the best way to describe it. But on to Adam again. What filters, if any, are you using when searching for expired domains on platforms like Spamzilla? What do you look for on there?
So Spamzilla. So generally, I'll sort by trust flow. So high trust flow, high referring domain counts, higher than 500. I'm looking for a topic. I don't want it to be about a bunch of different topics using the Majestic filter. I'm looking at referring domains. I'm looking at trust flow, referring domain count. And then I'll go over, there's like a nice little feature in there where you could click the button, like it'll say SZ score. But when you click that, it'll show you snapshots from the Wayback Machine. I want to make sure it didn't change hands too many times or change topics too many times. Once that meets all that criteria, and then I'll go look at cost. Does it fit in what I want to give up at this time? Usually, no, it does not. But sometimes.
Yeah, there's lots of filters on there across different platforms, whether that be Moz, Majestic, Ahrefs, or whatever. So a lot to filter there, depending on what metrics you feel are important. Fred is asking, do you have any tips to share from your recent Google AdWords efforts, Chris? Or anything that you would say to people, don't fucking do this? Other than compete with you. Don't compete with them.
Don't go broad. Go for exact. Not really. I mean, I'm just dabbling. I'm just trying to figure out what works the best. Create a lot of that, variations. Set a big budget. Just know that you're going to lose a bunch of money, it seems like, up front before it really starts taking effect. And whatever the words are that are in the ads, you want to have those on the page. I noticed that there's something there. And an SEO page is not a ad page. Starting to see that. I think if you're going to run ads, I think you should have dedicated pages for the ad.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's common sense or not, but I learned it the hard way. So dedicated pages, only go exact, set a high budget, know you're going to lose money up front. That's all I got, but it is effective, but it will take you some time. Yes, that's all I got for now. I'll report back.
Michael Norris is saying, how many links on average would it take from sites with DR of 50 plus for your site to become a 50 plus DR website? So how many links from DR 50s would it take for you to become a DR 50 on average?
That's kind of hard to answer. Because I think time and also, like, out of the links that are in those, not all DR50s are created equal. Like, how many of those DR50s are site-wide links? How many of them? I think there's other things at play there. I couldn't just say, hey, okay, this many DR50s equals this. That's hard to say, but I would venture to guess in order to hit a DR50, you'd probably need about 1,000 referring domains. Maybe somewhere in that range. I don't know. That's hard to say, though. No comment from Craig. What's your answer? Yeah.
I mean, something like that is almost impossible to answer. Now, I have got a new project I've launched, and I've got 20 referring domains, and I'm up to a DR of 8. Now, let's just call it 10. By that methodology, it would be 100 links, not 1,000, but that is not how it works. So, yeah, it's very difficult to say an exact figure, but it's certainly not going to be 5 or anything like that. It's going to take a fair bunch of links to be able to get your website up to a DR50. Unless, however, you want to go and pay for one of those gigs on Fiverr, where they can, give you a whole bunch of Google URL shorteners and get you to a DR50 in 3 weeks. That can be done. You're manipulating Ahrefs. It's not going to help your SEO. It's not going to help you rank better. But you can inflate DR very, very easily if that's what you're asking. So the real way or the hard way, it can be done very, very quick and easy, the cheating way. But the hard way, as Chris says, it could be 100, it could be 500, it could be 1,000, depending on what you're getting links on and stuff like that. Favoritism, Maeve says, Craig, can you do interviews with YouTube music playlist experts? Probably not suitable for my audience, Live IRL fan. If I get more people asking for it, then sure, I could consider it. But I'm not sure how much of my audience would be interested in hearing about YouTube music playlists as such. Chase is saying that I don't know what you would want to call that animal, but it was 10K. It's a piece of art. Michael Norris is running into indexing problems with pages. Synbite is your recommended tool of choice, Chris. Would that be right?
Yeah, I like Synbite.
So there you go. Synbite is the tool of choice just now, Michael. And last question, Viral Cloud. Why do cloud backlinks seem to work so well? What's the cause?
Work well for what?
Yeah.
Right? What seem to work well as what? Buffer pages? I'm not sure. I don't know. They are great buffer pages, that's for sure. But as far as ranking for high competition keywords, where?
Yeah. Where? What's the
where? What's SERP?
Rank local.
Oh, ranking local? Yeah. I mean, mid and low competition keywords, they can be very effective, and they make great buffers. They make good hubs, sure. But as far as high competition, I mean, it's not going to get you there, my friend. It can help, but I don't think that's the only thing.
Live IRL fan, if you can email me who you would consider experts in this field, let me know and I can reach out to them and see if I can do anything, give it a try. I'm open to trying things. So yeah, let me know of any names. Just pop me an email. Just go to my website, fill out the contact form, and just give me some suggestions on who you would like to see, and we can certainly try it and see what happens. But on that note, guys, we are out of time for this week. We will be back at the same time next week, and do check Mr. Chris Palmer SEO. Do check ODYS. Please do leave a like or a comment on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and his channel. And we will catch you all at the same time next week, guys. Thank you very much. And
see you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Craig.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.